Hello, you are viewing the 2024 Nebraska Affordable Housing Trust Fund's pre-application guidance for a Housing Development Award. This has been pre-recorded for publishing on February 16, 2024. This is a supplement to the 2024 application guidelines and is not intended to be a replacement for an applicant's review and use of the written application guidelines available on the Trust Fund's webpage. Applicants should review the Amplifund Application User Guide. You will find the link to this on the Trust Fund webpage. This will take you to important information on how to get started using Amplifund and will walk you through the basics of an application. This pre-recorded pre-application guidance can be found on DED's Trust Fund webpage under the section titled Training and Workshops. There may be additional supplemental material provided on the Trust Fund page throughout the application cycle, and applicants are encouraged to check back to this section from time to time. Applicants should also sign up for email alerts regarding the current Trust Fund application cycle. The link to sign up for DED emails is found at the bottom of every web page on the state of Nebraska's website. You can see on this screen the red arrow pointing to where you should click to choose the email list you wish to be a part of. The next few slides contain short videos introducing the applicant to the different sections of the pre-application for a Housing Development Award. A pre-application is required. A housing program representative will review the pre-application and will contact you regarding technical assistance for the full application. An applicant may start on their full application at any time after submitting a pre-application. Before I begin to show you parts of the pre-application for the Housing Development Award, I'm just going to mention that one of the parts is the project information page. You may want to be prepared to have the award requested amount ready. This would be your primary activity plus support activity plus administrative activities amounts all added together to be the total amount of the award requested. The next piece is the cash match contribution you'll input, and then there will be a auto-filled total budget of award requested plus cash match contribution. To learn more about primary activity plus support activities, administrative activities, and the amounts that you can ask for these, you need to read the application guidelines under the eligible activities, and then also section 6 for limitations and award amounts.
You are looking at the Nebraska Affordable Housing Trust Fund's webpage. Here you will find most all the resources as well as the link to enter the Amplifund portal to get directly to an application. As you scroll down, the first thing I want you to notice is the how to apply. It's the Amplifund application user guide. We recommend you review that. It will help you with some very useful information in navigating the Amplifund portal and the applications. Also, there's a quick link here to take you to the application guidelines. That takes you down here, and you can open these. If you do download them, be sure you are always checking for the latest version. If there are version changes, you will be emailed in our group email that we ask everyone to sign up for, but also there will be a record of change here for any changes made to those. So in order to enter the application, we're going to be discussing the housing development pre-application in this instance. So you can pull down a PDF copy of the application by clicking here, see all of the questions, even ones that are conditional and maybe nested under, like if you click yes, something else pops up for you to answer, but all of them will be laid out on the PDF copy. You cannot submit applications on a hard copy form or on the PDF copy. You must submit only by entering the portal and doing an online application. So I am entering the application now, and the first thing you'll come to is noticing that you need to log in the top right-hand corner. So you'll have to use your Amplifund email and password to log in. Once you are logged in, you can click the Apply button. If you've already started one, the application name will show up here, or you can start a new application. So this one, the Opportunity Details page comes up first. You'll have to click Save and Continue on that in order to get a check mark in the radio button. And all of these would need to be check marked before you can submit. The project information page, the application name is entered. This is very important that you enter the name correctly. So please use Section 8 of the application guidelines to refer to the table there and the instructions on how to properly name your application. All pre-apps need to have pre-app in the very beginning of the name. Every application name should have the applicant's name in there, and then you use the table to identify what initials to be using. So in this case, this is a home buyer purchase, rehab, resale project. Next, you're going to insert how much trust fund you are requesting. This would be your primary activity cost plus support activity plus any administrative allowances that you are requesting. This is the trust fund request. So if $750,000 is the cap of primary plus support, and then whatever you'd be asking in administrative allowances is over and above that. In this example, we're using $800,000, and we're using a cash match contribution of $100,000 in this example. The primary contact information is then added. Please put someone that is on staff with the applicant organization as the primary contact. If you are a third-party preparer, you will need to, this would have been possibly already pre-filled, so you may have to change that. And especially make sure that as a third-party preparer, you are using the applicant portal, Amplifund portal, and that you have been added as a user. Do not use the the application preparer's portal. Must belong to the applicant. After you have got everything filled in here, you can save, or in this case, mark it complete, or save and continue. You can always come back to any of these and change information as needed before you submit. When we come back, I'll start with the application form. Now I'm going to open Form 1 of the Housing Development Pre-Application and just walk through some of the items requested in Form 1. The applicant organization needs to have their legal name put here under Name of Applicant Organization. If you have a Doing Business As name, please include that as well, just after the legal name. Your federal tax ID is requested, and then for you to choose which applicant type you are, and the applicant's contact information, including phone number. I want to show you that under the state selection, Nebraska is right at the top of the list. So don't go looking in alphabetical, they put it right at the top for you. And the postal code, of course. Then the authorizing individual is the person that's authorized to sign contracts and other legal documents on behalf of the applicant organization. Please include their information here. And the preparer information. If the applicant is not the preparer organization, then a double check to make sure at this time that the primary contact on the project information is somebody on the applicant's staff. And then this is the place where the preparer's information is entered. Also, if an application is being prepared by a third party, we must make sure that the applicant's own Amplifund account is being used for the submission. The submission will be denied if it is the application preparer's account from a different organization. So here you're letting us know, is the preparer organization different from the applicant organization? If yes, then these open up and you will tell us what kind of organization you are that is doing the preparing. If it's no, you'll move on to fill in who is preparing this application for the organization. Local contact is another place you could put another staff person with the applicant organization. This can also be the same person listed as the primary contact. But if you want a third person to also receive information on this on this application, or if awarded, this person gets contacted and has to add additional users for the applicant organization when a recipient account is set up. Multiple applications. Every project type has to have a separate application, so we're just asking if you are planning to submit more than one application. The DED Housing Award eligibility milestones. Please watch this table here, and you will be asked if you have any open trust fund awards and whether or not they meet this milestone of having all trust funds drawn. If you're a 2020 award or earlier, 100% has to be drawn. This does not include the match amount. This is trust fund award amount. 2021 is 75% of the funds are drawn. 2022 is 30% of the funds are drawn. And 2023 awards have to have a release of funds by May 9th, 2024. So if you say yes, that you do have some open trust fund awards, then a table will pop up that you will list those open awards in. And you will also list how much of the funds have been drawn down and whether or not that meets milestone. To be an open trust fund award, it simply has to have not received a certificate of completion yet from the DED. If you have not received a certificate of completion, but you have drawn down 100%, you'll still be listing that award here and put 100% of funds drawn. And then, of course, you would be, regardless of the year, you would be meeting milestone. But you will check this table to determine if it meets milestone or not. If you have any that do not meet milestone, you are asked to declare that here. Did applicant identify any awards not meeting milestone? If yes, there are some, then you're going to upload a housing milestone plan for each award. If you have like 3 awards that have not met milestone yet, then you will just put them all and answer to them in one PDF document and address each award by their number and amount that's been drawn, and include your plan for meeting the milestone prior to May 9th, 2024. And that will be uploaded here. Next is the district indicator. You will indicate if your organization is in which congressional district. Important to note that projects may serve only one congressional district per award. Then you will come down here and determine the project service area for your project. So if the project service units will be, are already known where they will be located and they are in a specific community, then you will use the community box. Do not use the county box in that instance. If you have a project like a purchase rehab resale or an owner-occupied rehab, something that does not have the project locations determined yet, then you might be using the county box here and saying that all communities within Antelope County are available, will be available to use this award if awarded. So only select a county if all communities within that county are eligible to use this award according to your program guidelines. You will select either something in the county box or something in the community box. Do not select something in both. Now, there are some unique instances, and so please discuss with your housing program representative if you think you have to put something in both boxes. If you make an incorrect selection, you can go up to the top here and put please select all that apply. It will empty out that box and you can start over again to make your selection. Next, you'll be asked to find the housing region that you are located in. You can use this link here to go to the Contact DED Housing area of the Trust Fund website. And I'll open that up here. And you can see as you go down here to the Contact DED Housing, we can open that up and you will see a map. You will locate what color your organization or your project is located in and coordinate that with the color down here. So if you are in the pink area, that's Northeast, and Christine Rasmussen is your housing program representative. So you will select which region you're located in, and then the legislation first priorities. For the pre-application, you're going to just let us know, are any of the project units going to be in an enterprise zone? If yes, this will pop up and you will declare whether the entire project unit will be in an enterprise zone or just a portion, or it might be no. So that you will select that for opportunity zone and extremely blighted area as well. On the full application, you'll be asked to upload proof of where those units are going to be located if you are declaring they're located in a entirety within one of the zones or as a portion of. You'll also be asked if the entire number of project units will be eligible to 80% and under, or if not, maybe a portion. This means that you might have decided that 2 units are going to be available to 120% AMI, and 2 units are going to be reserved for 80% AMI. So you're going to let us know in the pre-app if you're going to have a portion of the units or not. So, and disaster recovery, this for housing projects are designed as long-term recovery efforts from a natural disaster. If you are choosing a yes here, the project design, beneficiaries, and narratives all need to be central to the disaster recovery, and the project must be located in a declared county in order to qualify. It looks up 4420-DR counties at this link here to determine if you are eligible to be as a disaster recovery county. If you have any questions about this, you can contact your housing program representative as well. Once everything is selected on here, you can mark as complete. I got an error here, and I can cross that out, but it means that something has not been completed, and you can find here, I didn't upload something when I said yes, there are some. Here I needed to complete my attestation about the table, and here's some other fields that weren't. So you can see you'd have to go back in and fill those out. You can also click save, and it just keeps you on this page, and you can come back later to finish filling it out. So that concludes Form 1. The next slide up, we will be working through Form 2. Now we are going to enter Form 2 of the Housing Development Pre-Application. Under Form 2, you're going to identify the housing project type. There are 3 types available for the housing development application: home buyer, rental, or homeowner. Depending on which one you choose, it opens up the correct activity under that project type. So be sure you have chosen correctly under your project type here. Next, there's the project description summary. In the space below, you're going to provide the project type, again, home buyer, and then any particulars about it, such as the other primary and support activities involved in this housing project type. The number of units to be completed within the contract period. The full application is going to require a much more detailed project description summary. So be sure to refer to the application guidelines before you do the full application. But for this project description summary of the pre-app, you can be fairly short and to the point to just help a reviewer of your pre-app to understand a little bit of the scope of this. project. Next, the project activities are going to be selected. So in this example, I chose home buyer, and from the home buyer, the primary activities available are new construction only, new construction home buyer assistance, purchase rehab resale only, purchase rehab resale with home buyer assistance, home buyer assistance only, or home buyer assistance with rehabilitation. You are going to select the activity you plan to ask trust funding for. So if you're going to have a new construction project and you're going to fund the home buyer assistance from a different source and not from trust fund and not from trust fund proceeds from sale of the unit, then you would only select new construction. Once you select the activity, you're going to tell us how much trust fund are you requesting to support that activity. So if this home buyer project, actually it's at the very beginning in our example, it's purchase, rehab, resale, and if it's also going to provide home buyer assistance for those units that are being rehabbed for resale, then you click on that. The amount being requested for the purchase, rehab, resale activity goes here. The amount being requested for home buyer assistance goes here. You can refer to the application guidelines to find out any caps. For instance, home buyer assistance, we will only fund up to 20% of the sale price of a home with trust fund. So depending on which activity, you're going to then fill in the corresponding amount of trust fund that you're going to be requesting. And these amounts should match the budget when you go to create the trust fund budget. Again, like if we had selected rental, different projects come open for the rental and for the homeowner as well. Support activities, not all project types will use all these support activities. You'll want to refer to the application guidelines. Be sure you always read all these instructions. Let's say the home buyer purchase, rehab, resale is also asking for a developer fee because the applicant is also in the role of developer. So they may select that. They may select any of these others here. So just letting us know which other support activities are going to be requested. And same with administrative allowances. Are you going to be requesting any of these administrative allowances? The alternative activity verification process. This is only in cases where there may be a unique activity that is allowed by the Act, but is not adequately described in the activities above. So if you do have such a project, please be talking to your housing program representative about it, and they will walk you through this process of using the alternative activity verification process. Once you have fulfilled this section, the next section, of course, will be Form 3, and we will start with that on the next slide. Now we're going to open up Form 3, Housing Project Design. Within here, you're going to declare the affordability period. This is the period of time a project's units must remain compliant. So you'll choose 5 through 10. You also are going to describe the number of beneficiaries and area median income for your project. If this is a home buyer project and you're building new construction of units, then all units are beneficiaries that would be added up in this section. So if you're building 4 new units at 120%, you put the 4 in there. This is at or below 120%. Enter the total amount of these numbers here. It's 4. You'll have to add 0 in each of these other areas. It's finicky that way. It wants to know you read it. So you'll have to add 0 in order for this page to move forward. Now, let's say you are a rental project and you're building 10 units, but only 5 are going to remain affordable for the affordability period. So that would say 5 at 120% or whatever percent you are going to choose. And that's 5 total to remain affordable out of the 10. That means you have to put down here the number of market rate is 5, so that they add up to 10 total. If this is a rental project, you enter the number of market rate units. If this is not a rental project, you need to enter 0 here. Then there's a site review question. A site review is required for these project types, so be prepared. This is just to give you a heads up and to allow your housing program representative, when they preview or review your pre-application, they're going to know that there's a site review coming. So if it does require one, say yes. Gives you some important information. March 21st is the date that you must have your site review filled in and completed and sent to your housing program representative. This will give them time to get out and do the site review so that you can have an approved one to upload to the final application. Any site reviews coming in after March 21st are not guaranteed to be approved in time for full application, and there are points available for having an approved site review. So be sure you are downloading the site review from the Trust Fund webpage and getting that completed and sent off to your housing program representative as soon as possible. So once this has all been completed, everything marked on it, you can mark as complete and then save and continue. Once you hit save and continue, you'll see that Form 3 says complete on it. So you're going to look for all of these forms to get to the complete before it allows you to submit. The next slide, we will go into Form 4. Now I'm opening Form 4, Housing Project Financing. This is the pre-application for the Housing Development Award. Just some information is given to you on this form that help prepare you for the full application. Program guidelines are the foundational document for every project, so be sure you are starting to create those. Use the program guidelines checklist found on the Trust Fund's webpage. These will be uploaded in the full application. Performance should begin to work on those with your team partners. The rental project has a required Performa template. You must use the template that is on the website now. You may not use any former year's templates. So you must use the required Performa template for rental projects, and it must be the current one for 2024. Of course, be sure to read all this when you do come to it in this pre-application and the full application. When it talks about leveraged funds, please refer to the application guidelines. And also, if you have no leveraged funds, meaning other outside sources that are going to be used to pay the hard costs of primary and support activities, if you have none, you still need to put a 0 in here in order for it to let you move ahead. Some things that leveraged funds table should not include when coming to the full application are mortgage and rent payments, pre-development costs, post-development costs, don't include match, do not include home buyer contribution. There's a list of them in the application guidelines, so be sure to refer to that application guidelines. Or it might be in the FAQ also. Please do read through the FAQs. Matching funds, you're going to give the amount of matching funds. In our example, we were using 100,000, and you're going to give the activity that it's going to be used for. So please read the requirements of the matching funds. When it comes time for the full application, you will be downloading a match documentation form that the authorized individual can sign and upload to the full application. So once this Form 4 is done, then we'll move on to Form 5. You can see I had clicked Form 4 as mark as complete, so the complete came showing there. Form 5 is terms of acceptance. This is the place where you are signing and attesting that you have the authority to submit this pre-application. So is the application prepared the authorizing individual, yes or no? If no, you're attesting that you have the authority to submit this on behalf of the applicant. With just a reminder, have you downloaded the pre-application? Download it so you have a copy of all your answers. Then read your attestation here, sign, click the I understand this box is a legal signature, and put the date. Then you'll be able to mark this as complete. Now you get an error if not everything has been typed in. So once you do that, you will get a complete on that. You'll want to make sure all these areas are complete. And when we come back, I will go over how to do a trust fund budget. Now I'm going to give a short tutorial on how to create the budget for your trust fund pre-application. This will be the same steps that you'll need to take for the full application. As this is a purchase, rehab, resale example I've been using, I'm going to go right down here to line 3, purchase, rehab, resale. Click the plus. I'm adding a line item. All line items are named the same name as the category. So I will take purchase, rehab, resale, and retype that in. Then the direct cost is going to be the amount of trust fund I'm requesting for this activity plus the match. So if I'm requesting $750,000 for this activity and I'm putting in the match of $100,000, then the total I want to put into direct cost is $850,000. So of that $850,000, a portion is going to be non-grant funded because that portion is matched. What is that cash match? $100,000. So I click that in there, and now I can hit create. When they create this, you can see that the line item, $750,000 in grant funds, that trust fund request. Non-grants, the match of $100,000. Here's the total budgeted. Now, if I'm requesting something in general administration and housing management, I need to add those as well. In housing management, you want to review your application guidelines to make sure you are within any limits that are listed for categories or activities. Housing management, again, we're going to use the name of the category to retype that in. And for housing management, I'm going to say this is a 15-unit project times the $5,000 cap. I can ask for $75,000 in housing management. None of that is going to be cash match, so I leave that at a no. Then I hit create. Then that line item shows there. For general administration, again, I'm going to take the category name and rewrite that here. And the direct cost, the cap I know allowance is $20,000. I'm going to go ahead and ask for the full amount. It cannot have match in this category. And I hit create, and now I have created my trust fund budget showing purchase, rehab, resale, housing management, and general administration. Oh, look, I have made a mistake in typing that. I can just hit the pencil. I can fix that there or anything else that needs fixed and resave it. At the bottom, total overall budget cost should be 0. And that is taking the amount we put in during the project information page. We put in $845,000, and then this is balanced now. I'm asking $845,000 with $100,000 in cash match. Total budget's $945,000. Need to mark that as complete so that I can get my check mark in the budget. I'll have to go back to the application forms and complete those. And then once all of them have the word complete next to them, I'll be able to go on to submit. If you have any issues with the way the Amplifund is functioning, please reach out to the Amplifund team. If you are questioning the caps or limits after reviewing the application guidelines, you may seek help from your housing program representative.
If you need help navigating the Amplifund grant management system, please see these couple of areas that you can seek customer support for the Amplifund. You can call a toll-free number between 7 a.m. and 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, or you can email this support email, and someone will be back to you to help you with any navigation or technical problems you're having with the Amplifund system regarding your application. Please watch for additional application guidance specific to the trust fund's full application. These will come out on the training and workshop section of the trust fund's webpage, or you may receive an email through the email listserv that we've asked you to sign up for. A housing program representative will contact you after reviewing the pre-application. And please review all the application guidelines. Section 9 of the application guidelines contains information specific to the housing development application. Also, register for open office hours at the link shown on this screen. Some additional resources for applicants as you work on your pre-application and your full application. Please check the Trust Fund's webpage for the latest version of the application guidelines. There will be a version 1.1 that will be posted soon. You will just look at the record of change on the last page to find out what has been updated. Also, check out the frequently asked questions. This will be pre-populated and are found on the Trust Fund's webpage by clicking into the 2024 Trust Fund Application Q&A box found just underneath the links to the applications themselves. There will be some supplemental guidance in the form of a slide deck that will also be added under the Training and Workshop section of the Trust Fund webpage. We really encourage applicants to take a look at those. There will probably be some helpful information in there as you work through your full application. Also, another full application recorded guidance will be produced and available under the Training and Workshop section of the Trust Fund webpage by March 8th. This concludes the pre-application guidance for the housing development pre-application. We look forward to working with you in the 2024 Nebraska Affordable Housing Trust Fund application.